All right, so today we're going to take a look at a brand new AI video tool. It's called StreetSpeak AI. Now, it makes some pretty bold promises about changing the game for a super popular video format. But you know us. We're here to find out what happens when that big promise actually meets reality. So, get this. Right on their sales page, you can't miss it, they have this absolutely wild claim. Raw, real street interviews in 60 seconds. Seriously, 60 seconds? Just a single minute to create something that would normally take, hours of filming and editing? It sounds insane. Yeah, that sounds way too good to be true, right? And that's exactly what we're going to dig into. We are putting that 60-second promise to the ultimate test. Okay, so first things first, why would someone even make a tool like this? Well, it all comes down to one thing, creating a shortcut for a type of content that is super popular but also really, really hard to make. So what StreetSpeak AI is supposed to do is let you create those viral man-on-the-street style interview videos, but all with AI. The whole point is to get all the perks of that format without having to face the biggest challenge of all, actually going out in public and trying to talk to strangers. And you can totally see the appeal, right? These videos get tons of views, they're super effective, but let's be real, walking up to a random person with a camera and a microphone, that is uncomfortable, for most of us anyway. So this software is basically offering a way to skip all that anxiety. Plus, it even lets you create your own unique, consistent AI person for your channel, which is kind of cool. Okay, so that's the dream. Now for the reality check. We're going to walk you through the actual step-by-step process a reviewer followed to make one of these so-called 60-second videos. And yeah, it turns out the workflow is, well, it's a lot more involved than just clicking one button. You've got to pick your characters, tweak all the video settings, get the AI to generate a script, but then you hit the waiting game. First, you have to wait around for the background images to generate. And then you have to go in and manually tell it to create a video for each little scene. And that means, yep, more waiting. The reviewer also pointed out some really frustrating things about the user interface. Little annoyances like having to scroll all the way back up the page just to find the next button. And again, that whole process of manually clicking to generate each and every scene one by one. The bottom line here, this is definitely not some hands-free, set it and forget it kind of thing. And this quote from the reviewer, this really paints the picture perfectly. He wasn't just sitting there staring at a progress bar. Nope. He literally started playing a game of chess and would just pop back over to the software every once in a while to see if it was ready for the next click. I mean, that little story tells you everything you need to know about how much downtime you're dealing with. So, that brings us to the big verdict. How did that flashy 60-second promise actually stack up against the reality of the chess game test? Let's break down the actual numbers. All right, first, let's remember the promise. 60 seconds. The idea was you type in a keyword and poof, out comes a finished video. Simple, fast, totally effortless. That was the dream. Okay, next up, the waiting. That chess game we talked about, it lasted 20 minutes. That's how long the active part of the process took. The clicking, and then waiting, and then clicking some more. And here it is, the grand total. The actual time it took from the very beginning to the very end for the software to render and stitch together one single video was 38 minutes. Yeah, a little bit more than 60 seconds. So you can see this massive gap, right? On one hand, you have the claim, a 1-minute, totally hands-off automated process. And on the other hand, you have the reality, a 38-minute job that needs you to keep coming back to click buttons with a whole lot of waiting in between. But wait, here's where it gets interesting. Even with that huge difference in time, the reviewer's final take was actually pretty balanced. He basically said, look, even at 38 minutes, it is still a heck of a lot easier than actually going out into the real world, walking up to strangers and trying to get interviews from them. So, okay, the marketing is definitely over the top, but maybe the tool still has some value, which leads to the next big question. What does the final video even look like? What did the AI come up with? Let's check out the script it generated. So the AI was asked to create one of those classic before and after stories about making money online. And it kicked things off with a very familiar setup. Someone struggling to make ends meet. And then, of course, comes the big transformation. The AI script builds this whole success story, taking the character from just $3 grand a year all the way up to over $100,000, using things like affiliate marketing and digital products. And to wrap it all up, it gives a nice, solid piece of advice. The AI zeroes in on a key idea, building a personal brand, and serves that up as the final takeaway. So, it's a complete story arc. It's simple, but it's all there. So really, when you boil it all down, that's the fundamental trade-off we're looking at here. You are swapping the real-world anxiety and all the headaches of filming in public for a 38-minute click-and-wait process at your desk. And that really brings us to the final big question, and this one is for you to think about. If you're a content creator looking at a tool like this, it all just boils down to a personal choice. What's your more valuable currency? Is it your time, or is it your comfort zone? The answer to that question is going to tell you everything you need to know about whether a shortcut like this is actually worth it for you.